legs, back, and bicep. Super excited. This is a brand new workout, and you're gonna need some dumbbells, and you're going to need a resistance band. Now listen up. We got 5 leg exercises in a row. This is gonna be a fabulous leg workout. And then we've got 3 great back exercises and some biceps. I'm super excited. So today we are going to be doing supersets, which means we're going to be doing 2 exercises back to back with no rest in between. And then after those 2 exercises, the superset, we're going to take a short break. Now, if you want a harder workout today, I want you to move faster. You can do more repetitions, and I want you to consider doing a 3rd superset. If you need to modify or make this workout a little bit easier, you're gonna move slower, do body weight only, take breaks when you need, consider doing fewer reps, and consider doing only 1 set. This is your workout. The name of the game is that today, you're gonna promise me that you're gonna work 20% harder than where you are today. So if you woke up today feeling a little tired, give me 20%. If you woke up today feeling super energized, give me 20%. That's the name of the game. Now, this is a strength-based workout. So I want you to aim for 10 to 12 repetitions on all of your exercises. That means you've got to use some weight loads that are actually challenging. This isn't just a pump you up, high energy, high intensity HIIT workout. This is actually a muscle building strength workout. And in order to achieve that, you've got to be really challenging yourself with your weight load. Let's get started. So take your feet separated and let's take a big inhale up. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale it out. Give me 2 more like that. And when you inhale up, I want you to really lengthen out your spine up towards the ceiling. So imagine that your energy is getting drawn way up, long towards the ceiling. Exhale it out. Let's take the left hand up over your head. Now lengthen the distance from your rib cage to your hip bone and very actively reach up as high as you possibly can to activate that transverse abdominis. That's the muscle that holds your belly in like a corset. Reach up super long. Take a slight lean, and now look under your left underarm to bring just a little bit of a twist to start to open up and lengthen out through the side, getting down into that hip flexor a little bit, drawn through your abs, and relax down. Same thing on the other arm. Inhale it up, reach way up for the ceiling, super long. Lengthen that space from your rib cage to your hip bone. Reach it, long, really activating that transverse abdominis. Now take a slight lean, and then as if you were gonna look under that arm to lengthen out, getting a stretch through your side, down into your hip flexor, super long, and relax. 1 more inhale, arms up over the head, interlock your fingers, bring them back behind your head, keeping them interlocked. Draw your elbows back, stick your chest forward, and drop your hips down towards the ground, lifting your chest super high, really pressing your chest forward just to open up that upper body a little bit. That's so that we can get into your glutes better. And relax it out. Let's come into some spinal twist, one of my favorite preparatory exercises. We're going to go through a series of exercises right now that are going to prepare your body for the workout. Now, another person might call it a warm-up, but I actually don't think of this as a warm-up. I think of this as a series of movements preparing you for the workout. It's going to bring your heart rate up, activate your muscles, get those glutes firing, and get you ready for a better strength workout. Squeeze your glute on the side that you're turning away from. So squeeze that glute, and just let those arms rotate around you, releasing some tension through your spine, anchoring down on your pelvis. Let your belly go. Does that not feel fabulous or what? Oh, it feels so good. Letting those arms just naturally rotate around you. And let's go 1 more. Feet together, soften the knees, and bring your balance over onto your right leg. Find your balance. You're going to be a little wobbly for a moment. Once your balance settles in, keep this standing knee soft. I want you to look left to right. Now, I realize if you're observing me in playback and recording right now, this could look like a totally silly exercise. It's one of the most powerful, beneficial exercises you should be doing every single day. Look around, it's going to throw your balance off. Once you settle in, I want you to look up Look down and look all around. I want you to look everywhere, intentionally throwing your balance off so that that right leg has to counterbalance. That's the whole name of this exercise. Preparing that right leg in a very functional way. Relax, switch sides. This exercise is also really incredible to improve foot health, arch strength, mobility, flexibility, balance, all of those really, really important things, especially balance and foot health. Keep the knee bent. Let's look side to side. Just really opening it up, looking side to side, throwing your balance off, keeping your standing knee bent. Super, super important. Keep that knee bent. There might be a tendency to lock out your knee. If so, that means that this hamstring on your standing leg is weak. You want to keep a slight bend in that standing knee as you're looking around. As you settle in, look up, look down. If you're super advanced, I want you to look even all the way behind yourself, using your hands to counterbalance, looking down with your eyes, looking up with your head, looking everywhere, and feel the muscles of your feet, foot, arch, ankles, and lower leg really warm up. It's incredible. And relax. Practice this exercise every single day, and your legs and ankles are going to be so much more stable and healthy. And it's also really good to improve just your overall balance. Feet wide, take a look down. Feet are parallel to each other, and let's come side to side. You know this is one of my favorite preparatory exercises. I love this one so much. It's so good. Push your hips back. I do this every single day because it improves the activation of the glutes. It gives an active and dynamic stretch to the inner thigh. It's great for the lateral mobility of your ankles. It's really good to get the hamstrings and the glutes fired up for the workout. I want you to sit a bit deeper, and let's come all the way down and reach across the floor, pushing your hips way back. Push those hips back. Release any tension that's on your toes. I want all of your body weight on your heels for the entire workout. Hips back, toes relaxed, sit deeply, move at the pace that works for you today. Double check your feet right now. Are they truly parallel? You don't want your toes to migrate open. Keep them truly parallel to each other. Heavy into your heels. Hips back, drawing into your abdomen. And one more. Relax, feet together. I want you to give me a big reach up over your head, stepping back into a little bit of a lunge. Alternating side to side, coming into a little bit of a lunge. This is going to prepare us for an exercise in the workout here in a moment. Make sure that you're really landing on the ball of that back foot and toes to give the arch a stretch. If this feels good and easy for you, let's make it bigger. All the way to the ground, dropping that knee down. Make sure you're really reaching up super high. Super high here, again, to activate that transverse abdominis. Pressing into your front heel. Here. Drive into your heels as you're stepping forward, keeping the toes relaxed, letting your back knee gently touch down onto the ground so that we can also open up that hip flexor. Big reach. Feel your heart rate coming up. Getting your body ready for our strength workout. 2 more. And relax. And let's jump into the workout. Okay, so I'm going to show you our first 2 exercises. If you want to move a bit faster, you're going to move out ahead of me. First 2 exercises, you're going to need a resistance band and a heavier dumbbell. And mine, of course, across the room because I did not set these up. Hold on one sec, guys. Grab heaviest dumbbell that you have. First exercise, plie squat. Toes are turned out, knees are tracking the toes, pressing out. I want you to sit nice and deep, drive into your heels. This really should be a heavier dumbbell. Second exercise, is band single leg deadlift. You can do this with a barbell, you can do this with dumbbells. But what you're gonna do is you're going to step onto your band with a very little distance under your toe. From here, we are doing single leg deadlift with a band. I'll review the technique when we get to it. 12 to 15 repetitions on each of these sets. Let's go. Plie squat, turn those toes and hips way open, almost to a full open, and sit it nice and deep. Squeeze your glutes. At the top, really press into your heels. There. It's driving your heels into the ground that stands you up. It brings you up. Keep your chest lifted. Drive into the heels, no pressure on your toes. 12 to 15 repetitions depending on how challenging your weight load is. 3 more. And then we're going to go right into that band single leg deadlift. You can swap it out for dumbbells or a barbell if you want. Whichever works for you. I love it in all the ways. So you're going to start by standing on your right leg. Place your band under the ball of your right toe, with just about 6 inches between the foot and the handle. And from here, we're coming into single leg. Squeeze your glute. So you are holding the band with the hand of the leg that's moving behind you. And at the top, right here, really squeeze your glute. Drive into your heel, squeeze your glute. It's ideal that if at the bottom of the movement, you've got some slack on your band, tighten up your band, because you do want to keep resistance at the bottom of the move on your band, right there. Now, the name of the game is not to rotate forward so much that you're touching the floor. We only want to come forward to where the upper body is at about a 30-degree angle to the hips. Let's go 2 more for 12, and then we're going to do the other leg. Go right into that other leg on this set, swapping out your band. Just about 4 to 6 inches between the ball of your foot and your handle. Weight is heavy on that leg, keep that knee bent. Rotating, squeeze the glute. Another exercise that's one of the very best that you could be working on every single week. If you've worked with me inside of one of my programs, you know single leg deadlift is pretty much in every single program I write because it's just that good. So good for glutes, so good for hamstrings, really incredible for total leg function in general. Such a great exercise. Drive heavy into that heel. If you have slack on your band at the bottom, tighten up that band because you really do want to have that little bit of resistance there at the bottom because that's where we're loading the posterior chain before we return to an upright position. This is our superset. Take a short break when you hit your repetitions or go ahead and jump right into your second superset. We're going to be taking a short break, about 20 seconds or so, before we go into our second superset of these 2 exercises. Now, if that first set was easy, if it was comfortable, I want you to look around and get yourself some heavier dumbbells or a heavier band. Remember, the name of the game is that the last 2 repetitions of every single set are challenging. They really need to be challenging, otherwise you're not really going to be creating a stimulus on the muscle and therefore developing strength. And for some of you who really want to build muscle, you've got to have a high enough weight load where those last 2 repetitions are legitimately challenging. Okay, let's go into Superset 2. And remember, if your first set of plie squats was comfy, let's take that weight up. We want it nice and heavy, sitting super deep, and squeeze through your glutes at the top. Please count your repetitions, 12 to 15 in a perfect world. Your weight would be heavy enough that 12 repetitions would be super hard. And I know because this is an at-home workout that you might be limited in your exercise equipment, and that's okay. If so, you'll just do more repetitions. We got 12 to 15 here, heavy into your heels. Keep your chest up, super tall. Squeeze those glutes right there. Oh, it's So good on the hips. So good on the hips. And 2 more. Going right into that second set of single leg deadlift. As I said, you can do this with a dumbbell or a barbell if you prefer. I think the band is my favorite though, I gotta admit. So we're standing on the right leg. Get that band into position. I'm gonna give you a lateral example here. Heavy on that standing leg with a slightly bent knee, using your opposite arm for balance. Now listen, if you want to use a chair or a wall next to you to help you balance, that is absolutely okay. I'd rather you use something to help you balance on this exercise instead of not doing it. So eventually the name of the game is to be able to do this without using something for support. But if you're learning it, it's absolutely okay to stabilize yourself with something. It's still such a valuable exercise. And then once you're strong enough, you just let go and you fly solo. 1 more and let's hit that other leg. When you're using a band, it can take a couple of repetitions and adjustments to really get that band in the right position. When you get it into that like sweet spot position where you've got just a little bit of tension at the bottom and lots of tension at the top, oh, it just feels so good. It's almost as if that little bit of tension at the bottom really helps to stabilize you into position. Do make sure that you're fully locking your hip open here by really activating and squeezing through your glute. Squeezing through the glute of the leg that you're standing on. If you're following along with me, you would be on your left leg, squeezing your left glute here. Give it a big squeeze, a little bit of a tuck under. So good. Heavy on the heel, nothing on that front toe. Shift your body weight back so that you're not on that front toe. 2 more. 1 more, short break. Let me show you the next 2 exercises for the next superset. We've got reverse lunge with a single arm hold overhead and a band RDL. Now on this RDL, you can use a barbell if you want, and you can use dumbbells if you want. I like to offer a variety. So today we're gonna be doing band. Let me show you our reverse lunge overhead hold. Dumbbell up over your head. You're going to be stepping back on the leg of the dumbbell that's overhead. So if your left hand is overhead, you're stepping with your left leg. Left hand overhead, stepping back with your left leg. We'll do 12 and 12, both repetitions per set. Second exercise is a band RDL. Same as that last exercise, you're going to want to get into position, stepping on your band, and then choking up at the bottom so that at the bottom of your RDL, there's tension on your band right here. However you need to achieve that, just make sure you've got that tension at the bottom because that bottom position is super, super important. The muscle's in a lengthened position, and so you want that load at the bottom of the move. And then you also want to exaggerate the contraction at the top of the move. Let's get started. Reverse lunge, overhead hold. Grab your weight load of choice. I'll show you from the front. If you're stepping on your left leg, dumbbell in your left hand, brace through the abdomen, soft through the knees, reverse back, step forward, and I want you to squeeze the glute of the leg that you're standing on. In this example, right glute. Really squeeze that right glute right there, driving into your right heel. This is a front leg exercise. This is all about the front leg. We're just making it a bit more challenging by having the overhead dumbbell hold. Just holding it in place to activate the core a little bit more, improve shoulder functionality and stability, but your mind should be in your front heel, front glute, front heel, front glute. Drive into that heel. We got 1 more, and then we're gonna switch sides. Same, standing on the opposite leg. Feet together, knees soft, dumbbell overhead, stepping back, driving into that front heel. Drive into that heel. Keep the front toe as released as possible. I don't want you gripping with your toes much. I want you to put all of your force, pressure, energy, emphasis onto that front heel. And that's because you will then activate your posterior chain better from the bottom here to here. So really, the most important aspect of this move happens here to here. It's that standing position where you push into that front heel is what this exercise is really all about. Driving into that heel as much as you can, 12 to 15 reps. Let's go one more. And relax. Band, RDL. Separate your bands equally under the balls of your feet. Knees are soft. Give yourself soft knee, hip back, coming into our RDL. Squeeze your glutes. So make sure as you begin the exercise from here to here, you've got a bit of a booty pop. Really reach your hips back. You do want an arch in your lower back. So when you hear other fitness experts say, keep a flat back, that's actually very wrong. We actually want to keep a neutrally curved spine because that is the natural position for your spine. So, slight arch in the lower back, especially at the bottom, especially right there. This move is really a hip hinge. Have your hips reach, pull back. Hips are reaching back. Instead of intentionally pulling over, it's your hips pulling backward, brings your chest into that forward position. Two more, and then we're gonna take a short break before we do the second round of the superset. If you're feeling good, you can take a very short break, and then go into your next round. Now, listen up. For those of you that love the high intensity, high heart rate, sweaty workout, that's actually not the intention here. The intention here is that these supersets are so challenging that you need a couple seconds of rest. So if you don't need rest in between your sets, I implore you to get yourself some heavier resistance. This is a strength building workout, and in order to do that, we've got to challenge you in the set, and then you need a little bit of a rest so that you can go back to the next set and be more powerful, more energized, stronger, so that you can work hard in the set, not in the workout. The name of an effective strength workout is to work hard during the set. The workout happens in the set, not in the workout. Follow me? Second set, let's go. If that first reverse lunge was comfortable, grab yourself a heavier dumbbell. I recommend 5, 8, 10. Some of you are probably even doing 15 or 20 pounds overhead. So front knee is nice and soft, driving into that front heel, especially from the bottom. Drive into that heel, exhale as you go from bottom to top. Really drive, tuck that pelvis, squeeze your glute. Don't worry about what you look like. I want you to focus on doing these exercises right so that your body gets better. Nice and long overhead. You should feel a bit of a stretch in your arch, maybe some pressure in the ball of your foot as you step back. If you have toe issues, please use something to support yourself. You can even do this body weight only and place your hands on your front leg. You can come to here if this is very uncomfortable on your back toe. Please note, if this is uncomfortable on your back toe, we got to work on that back toe. We need to improve the mobility and flexibility of your toes if you're limited in this exercise because of your toes, okay? Other side, same thing. Please make sure you're counting your repetitions. If you're new to my workout, you're gonna very quickly learn this girl can't count, and it's true. I'm not over here counting because I know You're a big girl. You can count your own repetitions. You don't need me to count for you. Don't just be a mindless follower. I want your head in the game. I want you thinking about every single repetition. And that means you need to be counting, because you need to know at rep 6 if you get tired, or rep 8 if you get tired, or if rep 10 still feels good, then your weight load is not challenging enough, my friend, because by the time you get to rep 10, you really should be working 12 reps here or 15, whatever right for you today. Just make sure you're counting when we do unilateral exercises like this. You got to make sure you're doing the same repetitions on each side. RDL. Oh, by the way, band RDL might be one of my top favorite exercises ever. RDL in general is one of my top exercises. And those of you guys that know me real well, you know I got a lot of favorite exercises. I do know that. That's because every exercise is my little friend. I love them so very much. Knee soft, arch in your back, booty pop, and it's a hip hinge. The hinge is what causes you to come into this forward position. You are not bending over. This is not a bending over exercise. This is hips push back in space. Hips conscientiously activate you back. Okay, and it's hamstrings and glutes here. You know, probably, let me think about this. Yes, the two most important muscle groups in the female body. Glutes number 1, I think I would say hamstrings number 2, and then I would say latissimus dorsi, or back muscles in general, number 3. Most important, and glutes and hamstrings are the two muscle groups that in my now 30-year history of training bodies are the two muscle groups that are always the weakest. One more, then we take a short break. Let me show you our next superset. Next 2 exercises. Okay, now we are going to be bringing in a leg back superset because this is a legs back bicep workout today. Listen, you need something to place your hand onto. Find a box, a chair, a step, a coffee table, the edge of your couch. I want you to have something that you can put your hand onto for support for a bent over single arm row. First 2 exercises, let me show you. Hold on one second. Let's go like that. First 2 exercises, moderate weight dumbbell. First is a side lunge, pull, alternating side lunge, pulling to your chest. First exercise. Second exercise is a bent over single arm row. Please give me a pause at the top. Elbow high, shoulder pulling back. 12 repetitions. 12 repetitions. We'll do both arms. So we're starting with that side lunge first. Do make sure if you've got problematic knees or weak ankles, just be a little conservative as you're getting started, okay? Right in the middle of your mat, dumbbell at your chest. Here we go. Land on your heel, hip pushes back. Land on your heel, hip pushes back. Hip back, okay? It's almost like a single leg RDL. Keep your feet parallel to each other. Count your repetitions. 12 on each side is a total of 24 going side to side, or 30 or 20, wherever you are going to feel a bit of a stretch on your inner thigh when you're at the bottom of the move. Inner thigh. You're going to feel a little stretch. Inner thigh. Heavy on your heel. Continue checking your foot placement because those feet have got to stay parallel to each other. I don't want your toes rotating and opening out. It changes the way that the knee gets loaded. Hips back, heavy onto your heels. 12 on each side, more or less, depending on your fitness level and depending on your weight load. And we got about 2 more here. You want a heavier dumbbell for your single arm row. Grab the heaviest dumbbell that you have, and we're going into single arm row. So, left foot forward, left hand forward. Back knee soft, pause at the top. Please count your repetitions. Shoulder is reaching back towards your hip. We want your shoulder away from your ear. Drawing your shoulder girdle down towards your hips so that your shoulder is not lifting up towards your ear or back, okay? Elbow back, shoulder down and elbow back. Your fist should end right by your rib cage, pretty much the bottom of your rib cage, and you should feel this exercise at right around the base of your bra strap. Both repetitions, both sides, okay? So do your 12, go ahead and switch on the other side so that we get both of them. Back knee is soft. That helps to unlock the upper body. Drive your shoulder towards your hips. Nice long neck. Hand is ending right by your rib cage. And I want you to pause at the top. That pause at the top is everything. So if you found me because you haven't been getting results from your workouts, even though maybe you've been strength training, but your body's not changing the way you want it to, this right here, that pause at the top, will change everything for you. Try it out, give it 6 weeks, and report back to me. 2 more, 1 more, 2 more, 10 to 15 reps. 12 is the sweet spot. And we're going into a short break before we do our second set. So if you are really and truly challenging yourself with your weight loads, this should be an incredible workout for you, okay? I really want you to challenge yourself with your weight loads. So if you've been here with me for a few workouts and these workouts aren't really showing results yet, I want you to find yourself some more dumbbells, heavier apparatus. Do what you gotta do because, my friend, it's worth it. You need the strength, you need the muscular development, and the heavy weight load is super, super, super important. Heavy is defined by the last 2 repetitions of every single set are hard and a little sloppy, a wee bit sloppy. Let's go into our second set of this superset. Grab that good weight load, coming into those side lunges. If you're feeling any funkiness in your knees, please get rid of the dumbbell and just perform this exercise body weight only, okay? Side to side, counting it out. Now remember, it's important, when you step out, I want you to land on your heel. Land there on the heel. Again, nothing should be on your toes, and I know that might be hard for you. It takes practice, but the more you practice this, the more you're gonna find you're able to get your weight back on the heel, off the toe, and in a short time, a couple weeks after that, you're gonna be putting on your favorite leggings, and you're gonna notice that your booty and your backside looks better. The more you're able to get your effort onto your heel and off your toes, the more you're really going to stimulate, activate, and strengthen the posterior chain, hamstrings, glutes, and all the other muscles on the backside of your body. But I think these days, most of us, a lot of us ladies, are particularly interested in better looking back of the thighs and glutes. And let me tell you, when you get them in shape, it also stimulates your metabolism. So it's great for you beyond just what you look like. And let's do 1 more each side, going into that dumbbell single arm row, starting with that left hand if you're following my cue. Left hand forward, holding the dumbbell with that left hand. No, right hand. Left hand, left foot forward, back leg is soft, giving me a pause at the top. That pause is everything. If you are particularly interested in really building muscle and size, I want you to take that pause out. And that means that you've got to be using a heavy enough dumbbell that you can't pause. So that's specifically for you if you want bigger muscles. Your weight should be so heavy that you have to get in and out. In and out. Otherwise, if your interest is toning, strengthening, slimming, getting the benefits of strength training, give me a pause. 12 reps-ish, and let's go right into that other side. The sweet spot is 12 reps. If you've got some nice heavy weights, you can do fewer reps. You can do 10 reps. And if you're limited by your home exercise equipment, and 12 is easy, make sure you're pausing at the point of transition where it's hard to pause on this exercise. It's right here. And you can do more repetitions if you are limited by your equipment. Big pull. Such a great exercise for shoulder health, for making your upper back look fabulous, and you actually get some really good core and ab control here too. One more short break. Let me show you our next superset. We've got another leg arm combination, and then we're going to be going, leg back combination, and then we're going to be going into a back bicep for our final superset. Superset number 4, we've got goblet squat here, goblet squat, and we've got double dumbbell, hold on, we've got 2 dumbbell, bent over dumbbell row, feet together, knees soft, RDL position, double dumbbell row. Second exercise. Okay, goblet squat. You are going to want a heavy dumbbell. So, in a perfect world, we would all be doing at least 8 to 10 pounds. And eventually I want you to work up to where you're doing 25, 30, 35 pounds or more, okay? In due time, that doesn't have to happen today. But for today, I do want you to grab the heaviest weight load that you have, and let's go goblet squat. Okay, toes are turned open, knees are soft. Keep your weight load in contact with your sternum. It's actually very important. So, sitting deep, dumbbell stays in contact with your sternum, especially at the bottom, okay? Keep that dumbbell in contact with the front of your body, and at the bottom, you're gonna end with your hips slightly below your knees and your chest upright. That's the name of the game here. Chest is upright, but hips are below the knees, and then at the top, I want you to really activate, squeeze your glutes there, so that you're finishing the move and really activating and squeezing your glutes. One more. Grab 2 dumbbells, moderate weight, 5, 8, 10-pound dumbbells here. Feet together, knees are bent, slight arch in the lower back, chest is up, double dumbbell row. Keep a 90-degree angle at your chin. So the relationship of your chin bone to your neck is 90 degrees. Chin bone to neck, 90 degrees. Now, you might want to look forward to watch me on the video like this. Every now and then, that's okay. But you're going to be stronger, and it's going to be a better exercise if you keep your chin at 90 degrees to your neck, and your neck is at probably about a 45-degree angle to the floor. Slight arch in that lower back, 12 to 15 reps, and let's take a short break. Good job. Short break, and then we're going in for a second set. I am sweaty today, so I'm happy to announce that I've upped my weight loads, my personal weight loads. These are still not heavy weight loads, by the way, but I've been able to up my weight loads, and boy, such a good workout. You are going to get a bit of a cardiovascular training effect from this workout, but remember, it's not a cardio workout. It's not a HIIT workout. It's not a boot camp workout. This is a workout to really focus in on specific muscle groups. Every week we're focusing on a different theme. Today, legs, back, and biceps, which is probably my favorite combination of them all, even though I am pretty partial to a shoulder day. Okay, let's go second set. Heaviest dumbbell you got. Goblet squat, toes open. Heels are about shoulder width distance apart, and your toes are definitely open. Drop that little butt straight down in between your heels, keeping your chest lifted. Squeeze your glutes at the top. Sit, squeeze those glutes. Stand tall here, making sure you always finish out your move by ending with your hips under your spine. It's going to feel like you're pushing your hips forward slightly, and I want you to really squeeze your glutes here. Big squeeze. Big squeeze. Squeeze them hard. Wake them up. I promise it will pay off. It's everything. Let's do 2 more. And then we got that double dumbbell bent over row. That's a mouthful. Say that 3 times. Say it 3 times. Dumbbell, double dumbbell, double dumbbell bent over row. Double dumbbell bent over row. Not easy, guys. Okay, feet separated slightly, knees soft. Neutral spine. Here's your bottom. Here's your top. 12, 10, 12, 15. Depending on your fitness level, depending on your weight load. Pausing at the top, drawing your shoulder blades together. Shoulder blades together, abs drawn in, 90 degrees at the chin, shoulders drawing towards each other, but also pressing down towards your hips. Shoulders towards your hips. Push them away from your ears. 2 more. If you feel a little something in your lower back, that's normal, okay? I don't want pain in your lower back, but in this exercise, you are gonna feel a little pressure in your lower back. I feel it, that's normal. Guess what? You've got muscles in your lower back and we need to strengthen them. So in an unsupported forward flexion exercise like this, you are gonna feel a little something in your lower back. If you're worried, if it's painful, skip this exercise. But if you don't have a history of lower back problems, I want you to just kind of work with it. Work with it, don't force it, but also don't completely avoid it. Let me show you can't believe it, our 5th superset. We are going down on the ground. We've got a lying dumbbell pullover for the back. And then we've got, concentration curl for those great looking biceps. Grab the heaviest dumbbell you have. Let me show you these 2 moves. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. Dumbbell is over your chest. Press your shoulders to your hips. Shoulders to your hips. Shoulders to your hips. Hardcore here. It's really important. Lock your shoulder girdle towards your hips. That shortens your torso. It contracts your abs. Then you take that dumbbell up over your head. Dumbbell up over your head. Lying dumbbell pullover. Second exercise, we're gonna come up. You've got a couple of options. You can sit into a chair if you want, or you can just come to a kneeling position. And we're going to do concentration curl, 1 set on each arm. So we're gonna hit both arms in this superset. All right, let's do it. Grab the heaviest dumbbell you have, up over your chest, and then what are you gonna do with your shoulder girdle? Push it towards your hips. Shoulder girdle to your hips. Neutral, natural arch in your lower back. Bring that dumbbell up over your head just until it very gently grazes the floor. Now, if you have an exercise bench at home, please use it because this exercise is fabulous with an exercise bench. Because then it just gives you a couple of inches below your head so that you have a little bit more range of motion. Now, if you're new to this exercise, doing it on the ground is great because it's really going to protect your shoulders, and it also forces you to really use your lats here. All right, I lied. This might be my favorite exercise of all time. Oh, this exercise, my friend, let me tell you, This exercise will change your life. That's not hyperbole. If you can learn and get this exercise right, and you can go safely heavy 2 times a week, watch your upper body change. It's incredible. It's such a great exercise for the lats, shoulder health, tricep wiggles, core, lower. It's just fabulous. It's fabulous all around, but I digress. Let's come into that concentration curl. Bicep concentration curl. Kneeling, or feel free to sit into a chair if you prefer. We are here. Your elbow is against your inner thigh, just inside the knee, okay? Give me a pause at the top so you really squeeze through that bicep at the top. Shoulder, this shoulder is going to want to come forward. Try to keep it back in space if you can. Try to keep that shoulder pulling back and keep your elbow in contact with that inner thigh. Long at the bottom. I like a long open joint at the bottom. You'll hear other experts out there tell you not to do that. I know, but this is my way. I've been doing this a long time. I've got a degree in exercise physiology, emphasis in anatomy, and nice and long at the bottom because it really lengthens out the bicep. And it's a lot more functional for the muscle in general. Some people will tell you to stop short so that you're keeping tension on the muscle. And while that's not wrong, I actually just believe really working on our full range of motion around every joint is super important. And I just find that you recruit the muscle more wholly if you've got that full open joint here as opposed to stopping here. You'll see other, in particular men in the industry, will stop here because they're all about keeping tension throughout all range of motion. We do lose a little bit of tension here, but I personally feel that's a good payoff for the value you get through recruiting the muscle more fully by having that open joint. Okay, 3 more here. Notice which arm's a little bit weaker. It's just good to know. Put a little more love into the arm that's weaker. You don't necessarily have to do more repetitions or heavier weight when you've got a side that's weaker than the other side. But what I do recommend when you notice if your right arm is stronger than your left arm, put more love, more focus, more energy, more concentration into the arm that's a little bit weaker, okay? Then they will balance each other out eventually. Second set, how did that lying dumbbell pullover feel? If it felt safe, if it felt good, I encourage you to try a heavier weight load. This is an exercise where in a perfect world, we would all be doing at least 8 or 10 pounds. And then down the road, your goal in my world, in the Women's Strength Nation community, is that you would be doing 30, 35, maybe even 40 pounds. At my max, I was up to about 45 pounds on this exercise, just to put it into perspective, because I've had clients in the past, especially in the gym, where they were like, what? I can't do 25 pounds on that exercise. And at first, it's going to feel like 20 or 25 or 30 or even 30 pounds on this exercise feels like it's so much. But just to put it into perspective, I was doing 40, 45 on a regular basis, and you can tell I'm not like a super muscle girl. And even during those times when I was doing 40 to 45 pounds on this exercise, sure, I was in better shape than I am right now, but I wasn't more muscular. My muscularity was about the same. The only difference was my leanness. So this is an exercise that you really can go a bit heavier down the road in due time, my friend. 10, 12, 15. Whatever's right for you and your fitness level and your weight load. We're going to do one more just because it feels so good. By the way, this is like a really incredible ab exercise when you get that right. Concentration curl, pick your weight load, what feels good today. Into position, elbow against that front thigh, and give me a good squeeze at the top. Really good isometric contraction here, so that you get that full muscle recruitment. The pause is really how you develop more strength without developing bigger muscles. It's really why I teach the pause because the pause really helps you get stronger, get more toned, get more athletic looking, but it is going to limit your muscle getting bigger. So if you're specifically here because you want bigger muscles, you got to take the pause out, but your weight load has to be heavy enough that you can't do the pause. So the contingency is the weight's so heavy you can't do a pause, and that's for you if you want bigger muscles. I would say about 50% of my community wants bigger muscles. 50% of my community just wants to look more athletic, toned, tight, lean, smaller, tighter, leaner. And so the majority of my programming really is for smaller, tighter, leaner. But with just a couple little tweaks like this one, you can turn programming into muscle size building programming. It's really all about the number of repetitions that you're doing and the weight loads, right? Your weight load is going to dictate how many reps you can do, and your programming dictates how many reps you should do. So wherever your reps are in your programming is how you determine what weight load you should be doing. And if you need a program, come on over and visit me, hollyperkins.com/offer. I will give you a free download, 6-week strength and cardio plan to get started. 2 more here. My left arm, I'm left-handed out in the real world, but my left arm in the gym is often weaker. Really interesting, huh? Have a seat. Once you are done, sit back onto your feet. We're going to do a couple of foot, health, and quad stretches. I'm going to cool you down, and then we're going to sign off, unless you want to stick around for the walking lunge workshop. Okay, so right now, I want you to point your toes, sit on your feet. If you can't do this, just kind of use your hands to sort of relieve some of the discomfort. I want you to work towards being able to fully sit on your feet as long as possible. Let's spend about 10 to 20 seconds here sitting on your feet with your toes pointed. If you're more advanced, you can separate your feet and come into a bit more of a true hero's pose from yoga. But for now, I like this because we're getting the stretch and the plantar flexion of the feet. So we're stretching out the front of the feet here, opening up the ankles a little tiny bit, and let's make a change. Feet together, tuck your toes with your feet together, really tuck them under, and then I want you to sit back onto your toes and let's rock back and forth. So, feet together, ankles towards each other. The pressure of your body weight should bring some mobility and flexibility to your arches, your toes, your forefeet. If this is comfortable and easy, please come into a full seated position and just put some heavy pressure down on those toes. Incredible, super important mobility move for us all. If this is easy for you, please work it a few times a week so that it will always be easy for you, because just because it's easy for you now doesn't mean it's always going to be easy for you. You want to keep it. And if you're like me and this is excruciating, welcome to my club. You just got to work with it, breathe through it, and temper your pressure by taking your weight forward and back, just so it's a little bit more easeful. Okay, come up onto your knees, 1 foot forward, and I want you to just come forward into a hip flexor stretch here. If this is comfortable on the front of the hip, come on into a full runner's lunge to open up the hip flexor, and this is just going to give us a little bit of range of motion before we go into our walking lunge workshop. For those of you guys that are sticking around for the walking lunge workshop, drop into the hip of the leg that's extended. Drop into the hip of the leg that's extended back behind you. And release down, shift back, same thing, other side. Coming into just a gentle here, opening hip flexor stretch here. Depending on your flexibility, this might be super easy for you. It might not be. And if it is super easy for you, just extend that back leg, sitting heavy and dropping into the hip of that leg that's extended. Okay? Really dropping into that hip, activating through that front leg. And deepen the hip. Take a couple deep breaths. And from here, I want you to push into your front heel, step forward, slowly roll up and listen up. Lift your knees 10 times. Please don't cheat me out of it. I don't want you to get dizzy when you come from the floor to a standing position. Super important for the transition of your blood pressure, your heart, the oxygenation of your blood. 10 times. And then feet separated. Let's take a big inhale up. Exhale it out. One more time. Inhale it up. Exhale it out. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day, and I will see you next time.